Spider-Man, Far From Home. You're like, man, that's a mouthful right there, you know?
It doesn't even like acronym right. It's like SMFFH. Like
I mean, if you've seen like some of the Photoshop posters for Far From Home, is actually pretty funny. There was one where it was just the Spider-Man logo with a whole bunch of dust.
Oh, rip.
Yeah. Well, so pretty much like everything we've learned this past week, it's like it's titled Far From Home. It's that because it's a field trip with Spidey and his friends. They start shooting in like 2 weeks, roughly that time. So things are moving rather fast, and honestly, I'm kind of excited by this whole prospect of taking Spider-Man out of New York. It like worries me, but I trust that they're going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I'm getting worried though because it's Sony. Like they're trying to rush this out.
Yeah, they're gonna put like 10 years later instead of 6.
Either that, or you know, like just
10
like,
years.
try to tie it in with the Silk movie that they're trying to get out.
Oh,
Oh no. Wait, I just realized why don't we have like Silk on here or anything, like any of the Sony stuff?
because
they didn't think about it.
we're gonna talk about things that are actually gonna happen.
What about Venom? Like that movie everyone's hyped for, like that.
I mean, let's talk about that because Venom this week it was confirmed. It's like, oh, look at how big the numbers are doing for it and stuff, you know, for like the trailer.
Yeah.
But not only that, like you have all this Spider-Man stuff happening outside of Spider-Man. And it's like, I'm excited by the prospect of having Spider-Man, but then the idea of having Spider-Man without Spider-Man, I'm like, well, you know, I guess, and I understand why people might be looking at these other ones and being very cautiously optimistic or just cautious about it, and it makes a lot of sense. Again, there's a lot in the Spider-Man like world that you can work with, right? But I just don't get why, if you're setting up Far From Home and you're setting up all this stuff on the side, why can't Marvel and Sony work together to fit all these other franchises in? Like what excuse, what reason is there to not fit them in together?
Yeah.
Sony wants to do their own thing, even though it doesn't really work, because you can have one side saying, "Oh, we can work together on this whole dynamic of Spider-Man and its universe and incorporate it into the MCU flawlessly," but you can have the other party say, "Oh no, we just need a little head start from you guys, and we can take it from here," even though most likely they don't know what the hell they're doing at this point.
Yeah, like I heard that like Silver and Black was gonna be like tangentially related because they were gonna use like Jessica Drew or something like that in it, or because she's gonna be in this new one.
Yeah, it was like Jessica Drew and then Silver Sable was tied in to a certain extent. I don't know how they were gonna do it, but that's what they were hoping that it was going to be.
But wasn't it also the guy playing Scorpion was supposed to be in it?
Yep.
Yeah. At some point, yeah, he was.
So,
I mean,
but that movie's not happening, so who cares about it?
like, I've seen the theory that people are like, what if these movies are going to come out and they are connected in it? They're just not mentioned, kind of like the Netflix shows. And I'm like, I would honestly be okay with that, but they have to be good movies first and foremost. Like, you can't come out and put out I don't know, like a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes or something into the MCU because people are going to look at you and go, well, I don't want that in there. You know, like, they have to be handled with care. And if it's only Sony taking care of them and Marvel Studios has no input like they do with the Spider-Man movies, then why are you going down that route? Just work out a deal with Marvel and be like, please help us with everything we're doing. Like, because if you're Sony, if you can at least get one Spider-Man movie out every other year, and then in the years in between, you're getting out one of your spin-off movies, like, that seems like a no-brainer. Instead of trying to do your own.
Jumanji.
Oh yeah, well that was huge too. So.
But
You
wasn't
gotta
there
do a
that thing?
cinematic universe about that.
Wasn't there that thing last year where someone said Feige's talking to a studio about the movies, and wasn't it with Sony?
Mm,
So it's like maybe they're actually talking about how to handle this.
So that's the thing.
Maybe it's not even live action. Maybe it's animated.
Right. Yeah.
mhm.
So
Huh.
Well, I mean, in the meantime, all we know is that these spin-offs are all Avi Arad and Amy Pascal, so...
well, I mean, they are getting like the Marvel Studios people working on it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, but who's telling them what to do?
I mean,
Uncle Avi.
getting toy sets.
Well, they don't
It's
even
like-
own the merchandise anymore. So it's like,
No.
Yeah.
You can just imagine Amy throwing sandwiches at the Marvel personnel, telling them what to do.
I want Silk. Bang.
and like with this whole, I guess, Far From Home thing going in a different direction for Spider-Man, we know still they're going to have to obviously tie in MCU characters, which I'm excited by that idea, but they need to come out and I guess release like that press release, which should be coming anytime before they start shooting, you know? So within the next 2 weeks, we're probably going to get it. So we're going to get confirmation of everybody that's in it and probably even who the big MCU stars are going to be. And it makes me think, it's like, if we're dealing with multiverses and stuff now, is that going to be a way that they kind of like could technically maybe work in all these other spin-offs, being like, oh, so you could feasibly, maybe Tom Holland does show up in Venom for like a quick cameo, but it's like one of those multiverse things, you know, like it doesn't have to be part of the MCU, which then again, you're kind of taking Venom
it's
away.
the Sony verse.
Well, Feige did say that Far From Home has more than that one meaning like Homecoming did. So maybe the whole multiverse thing does play a part in it. Maybe Mysterio isn't like technology based. He is like magical, mystical sort of thing.
Well, so you mean like he's just like some hawk magician that plays with things that he shouldn't be playing around, and they travel through the multiverse.
They gotta get Doctor Strange in there then, no?
Yeah, why not?
That would be so cool. Like that's a way to do it though. Like what if Mysterio is something like that? Like that would be pretty awesome, honestly. I mean, it's a different version, sure.
And it mixes up the villains, so they're not all like TASM 2, where it's they all come from this one place and they're all like technology based.
Yeah.
Let's actually mix it up slightly.
But we need a Daredevil crossover with Spider-Man too.
Yeah, got to have Daredevil wheezing in the corner while Spider-Man swings 4 blocks down.
So, what was that sound?
He gets punched in the gut once and he's out for 2 episodes worth. It's like, oh, Spidey's like, well, I'm just gonna keep on swinging.
Europe's too loud. I can't handle it. No.
Oh man. So with that in mind, we're going to transition on to the next topic at hand, which brings us to